triathletes, we all often face more hurdles than the professionals when it comes to scheduling and completing workouts in addition to working full-time jobs and keeping up with the daily odds and ends.
How do we handle half Ironman training and still get it all done? We're going to share our experience and our #1 secret to success, and hope it provides some insight to help you manage your own triathlon training.
Prior to starting a new week, we load our workouts into our phone calendar. This is important to always have that at-a-glance visual as to what each day will entail. It also helps arrange what order we'll do our daily workouts and if we have any work commitments that will require any shift in that scheduling.
One important factor to note is, we don't have kids and don't have that extra commitment. And props to those who do this sport with kids, especially couples who try with kids. So it is possible, but could require even more flexibility in planning, plus early mornings and/or later evenings.
Ideally, we can knock out 2 morning workouts. This allows us to start the workday with some nice endorphins and a sense of accomplishment. A typical weekday morning starts in the 5 o'clock hour and could include an indoor bike ride upwards of 90 minutes, followed by a 20 to 30 minute strength session at the gym. We also do swim strength training in a similar format.
In general, we have a set time when we start our bike sessions during the week. This keeps us consistent and accountable. Another layer of accountability is that we create a Zwift meetup with Colin, who beams in from Nashville. Knowing he's expecting us to show up for the scheduled start time gets us out of bed when sometimes the temptation of hitting snooze on the alarm creeps in.
After we complete the morning, we head out the door to start the day. Thanks to Caitlin's efforts in the kitchen, our breakfasts and lunches are already prepared, which maximizes our workout time and minimizes our daily prep time. Now, for details on how we get ahead on that, check back next week. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get the reminder when that episode drops.
Even though we work in completely different fields, we're also fortunate that our schedules often align, or we have a bit of flexibility to meet up for a lunch workout if we really need to. We don't lean on this too much, but some days it's nice to have all the training sessions completed prior to the end of the workday, which allows us more time to enjoy our evenings and adds a bit more recovery time for our bodies and minds.
If we can't train at lunch, we do our best to make the transition and get out the door shortly after work. Generally, our last session of the day is our run. We prefer this because it's the least invasive session of the day. Simply put on the shoes and get out the door.
When we wrap up the run, it's a quick transition to dinner time. Although we don't plan our meals days ahead, we do decide on dinner early in the day and try to plan for the weekday meals that are easy to prepare, but more importantly, provide leftovers, which is the key to our plan for meal prepping.
When all is said and done, we try to start winding down in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll have some playtime with our 4-legged kids and talk about our days, discuss the next day of training, and then make our way to bed and call it night around 9 p.m. Keeping ourselves on a timeline is also key to be able to lather, rinse, and repeat for the next day of training. If we skew our bedtime by an hour or so, the next morning, well, it's a bit more challenging.
All in all, that's how we find a way to get it done. Ultimately, we decide what our priority is when it comes to training and the results we want to see. Because we set high goals for ourselves, to us, it's worth early wake-up times. But it's important to note that you can still enjoy triathlon training without having to go to extremes. It just might require a shift in your goals and expectations.
Bottom line, what is our secret to success? Planning ahead. With a plan in place before the day starts, it simply comes down to execution of that plan. We've caught ourselves struggling sometimes when we try to figure it out on the fly. Our #1 advice, if you want to be organized and have the best training environment, is to sit down and take the time to set up your day and your week ahead of time.
Of course, we're not perfect. Some rare days it's a struggle to get going in the mornings and we have less time in the day to squeeze in our sessions. And some days we do have to bite the bullet and skip a session. It's not preferred, but it is reality. The best advice when that happens, let it go and move on. If you're staying consistent, one missed workout or one day that doesn't go to plan won't matter much in the long run.
Do you have any time management tips and tricks that we might have missed? How do you structure your sessions? Let us know in the comments, and let's share the good training vibes.
We'll be back next week with a deeper dive into our nutrition and meal prep and how it works for us. See you then.